The ring caught the morning light and threw gold across Olivia's fingers. I remember thinking, this is what happiness looks like. I was wrong. Do you like it? I asked, still admiring the way it sparkled. She smiled faintly. It's beautiful, Ethan. You picked perfectly, I grinned. Perfect ring for a perfect fiancé. She looked away, her phone lighting up beside her coffee. She flipped it face down without checking. I tried to sound casual. You've been getting a lot of messages lately. Work stuff, she said quickly. Deadlines, even at midnight? She gave me that calm smile again. Clients overseas. Time zones are weird, you know that. I laughed weakly, pretending to believe her. Right, overseas. Makes sense, but it didn't. The laughter didn't reach my chest. That night, as she sat across from me planning wedding invitations, I caught her pressing a hand to her stomach. She looked pale. You okay? I asked. Just tired. You've been saying that all week. She sighed. Can we not do this right now, Ethan, please? I wanted to say more, but her eyes looked so tired I swallowed the words. I reached out, squeezed her hand. Sorry, I just worry, that's all. She nodded, but her gaze slid away again. I told myself love meant trust, even when your gut screamed otherwise. Days passed. Her phone always face down. Her smile felt heavier. The laughter that used to fill our kitchen was replaced with silence. One night I woke up to whispers. The balcony door was open, and Olivia stood outside, phone pressed to her ear. Her voice was soft but sharp, the kind you use when you're afraid of being heard. I told you I can't say anything yet, she whispered. He can't know yet, not until I'm sure. The world went still. I froze in the dark, my heart beat loud enough to drown out her voice. He can't know yet. The words looped in my skull. I stepped back before she turned around and slipped under the covers. When she came back in, I pretended to be asleep. Her perfume hit me first, lavender and something new, something colder. She climbed into bed and sighed softly as if nothing had happened. The next morning, I made pancakes. I was terrible at it, but I tried anyway. She smiled faintly when I set the plate down. You're acting weird, she said. I can't make breakfast for my fiancé. You never make breakfast. Maybe I'm trying something new, she smirked, cutting into a pancake. Trying to impress me again? Always, I said. But my smile felt like glass, thin, ready to crack. Her phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced at it, froze, then turned it off completely. Work again? I asked. Yeah, clients can be needy. I leaned against the counter. What's the client's name? She blinked. What?
The one who keeps texting you. She set her fork down.
Ethan, you're being paranoid. Am I? She exhaled sharply. You need to trust me. I do, I said quietly. That's what scares me. She looked away, grabbed her purse, and left for work without kissing me goodbye. The silence after the door closed was deafening. That evening, I sat staring at the ring box still on the shelf. I'd kept it after the proposal, a symbol of everything I believed in. Now it looked like a joke. I called my brother, Mark. Hey, quick question, I said, trying to sound normal. Yeah? Do women usually hide things when they're stressed? Like personal stuff? He laughed. Every human hides things when they're stressed. Why? No reason, I lied. He went quiet. Ethan, is something wrong with Olivia? I hesitated. I don't know. She's been acting off. Then ask her directly. I did. And? She said it's work, Mark sighed. Then either she's lying or you're overthinking. Figure out which. I thanked him and hung up, but his words stuck with me all night. By the next week, I'd convinced myself I was overreacting. People get distant before weddings. Nerves, stress, pressure, that's what I told myself. Friday night, she came home late. I was on the couch pretending to watch TV. You're home, I said. Yeah. Sorry, long meeting. I muted the television. Olivia, can we talk? About what? Us, you've been distant. Her lips tightened. I'm just tired, Ethan. I heard you on the balcony last week. Her eyes widened for a split second before she masked it with a frown. You were eavesdropping? Who were you talking to? She crossed her arms. No one important. Then why did you say I couldn't know? Her face drained of color. You misunderstood. Then explain it to me. Her eyes flickered, then she whispered, It's work. Confidential stuff. Please drop it. I stared at her for a long time. Okay, she blinked, surprised. Okay? Yeah, I said quietly. If you say it's work, it's work. She nodded and turned away, relieved. But as she walked into the bedroom, I caught the faintest tremor in her hands. When the door closed, I whispered to myself, "Then why do you look so scared, Olivia?" The ring gleamed under the lamp, still beautiful, still gold. But to me it looked like rust. And for the first time since the proposal, I couldn't tell if I was still engaged to the woman I loved, or a stranger wearing her face. I wasn't looking for secrets. I just wanted socks. That's all. But when I pulled open Olivia's drawer, the white envelope slid out and landed at my feet. St. Mary's Hospital, the header read. My stomach dropped. I told myself it was a bill, maybe paperwork for her father. But curiosity chewed at me. My hands shook as I opened it. 2 words. Pregnancy test. And below it, positive. For a second, I just stared. Then I laughed, a strange shaky sound. She's pregnant, I whispered. Oh my God, she's pregnant. I imagined her smiling, crying, hugging me. I pictured us painting a nursery, holding tiny hands. I waited for her to come home. I even reheated dinner. Spaghetti, her favorite. When she walked in, I could barely hold the excitement in. Liv, I said, smiling too hard. We need to talk, she frowned. About what? I held up the paper. About this. Her purse slipped off her shoulder. Where did you get that? It fell out of your drawer, she went still. You went through my things? I just found it by accident. Her voice trembled. You shouldn't have. I stepped closer, heart pounding. Why didn't you tell me? You're pregnant, Liv. We're going to have a baby. Her lips parted, but no words came out. I laughed again, nervous. Say something. Are you okay? Are you scared? I mean, I am too, but she cut me off. Ethan, stop. The room froze. What? Her eyes darted to the paper in my hand. It's not what you think. Then what is it? She took a step back, clutching her arms. Please, just forget you saw it. Forget? You're carrying my child! Ethan, She stopped, shaking her head like she was drowning. I can't do this right now. I reached for her hand. Talk to me. I deserve that much, she pulled away. I need time. For what? To decide if you want to keep it? Her silence sliced through me. Finally, she whispered, It's complicated. Complicated? I laughed bitterly. You're pregnant. That's not complicated, and that's life. That's us. She turned toward the door. I'm staying at Grace's for a few days. Running away. I just need space. Space from me? She didn't answer. Olivia, please, I said. Don't do this. We can handle it together. She turned her face away, tears trembling in her eyes. You wouldn't understand. Then help me understand. I shouted, voice cracking. She froze, hand on the doorknob. Please don't follow me tonight. And she left. The door shut like a gunshot. The spaghetti went cold. The house fell silent except for the sound of my heartbeat echoing in my head. I stared at the paper again. The test results glowing in the lamplight like a cruel joke. Positive, pregnant, ours, hers, someone's. I didn't know what to think. At midnight, I called her. No answer. Texted. No reply. By 3 a.m., I was sitting on the kitchen floor, paper clutched in my hand. My chest felt hollow. I whispered into the dark. Why would she hide this from me? When the sun rose, I was still awake. The envelope lay open beside my coffee mug, stained with fingerprints. That's how Mark found me. He stepped in, rubbing sleep from his eyes. You look like hell. Morning, I muttered. He noticed the paper immediately. What's that? Hospital result, he blinked. You sick? I shook my head. It's Olivia. She's pregnant. He sat down slowly. Congratulations? I laughed, the sound sharp. Yeah, except she didn't tell me. Mark frowned. What do you mean she didn't tell you? I found this in her drawer. When I asked, she panicked. Then she left. Left where? Said she's staying with her friend. He stared at me. And you just let her go? What was I supposed to do? Lock the door? He rubbed his forehead. Ethan. Something's off, you think? I mean it. People don't hide pregnancies unless there's a reason. I slammed my hand on the table. Like what? He didn't answer right away. You sure it's yours? The words hit like a slap. I stared at him. What the hell are you saying? He raised his hands. I'm not accusing, I'm just saying, find out before you lose your mind. I trust her, I said automatically, though the words felt empty. Do you? He asked quietly. I looked down at the paper. My throat tightened. I did, he sighed. Don't chase her. Not until you know the truth. You'll only make it worse. I leaned back, closing my eyes. I can't just sit here. You can, he said firmly. You'll regret it if you don't. The room felt smaller, heavier. Finally, I nodded. Fine, I'll wait. Mark stood, clapping my shoulder. Good. Eat something, sleep, think. When he left, I stared at the empty doorway for a long time. The word pregnant burned through my mind until it didn't mean anything anymore. I picked up the envelope again. The edges were soft now, worn from my hands. She was out there somewhere, hiding something that had both of our names written all over it. And all I could do was sit here, pretending I still trusted her, while every part of me whispered the one thing I didn't want to believe. The days after Olivia left felt like a blur. My phone stayed silent, except for the occasional spam call. I waited for her text that never came. Then one night, it rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Hello? I answered, half asleep. A voice slurred on the other end. Ethan, my man! It's Liam. Liam Walker, I frowned. Ryan's Liam? Yeah, that's me. Haven't talked in ages. What do you want? He laughed, loud and careless. Just celebrating, man. Big news, you heard? What news? He paused. Wait, she didn't tell you? Tell me what? He chuckled again, but it sounded wrong, like guilt hiding in the cracks. Bro, I can't believe she's still pretending Ryan isn't the dad. My entire body froze. What did you just say? The line crackled. You didn't know? Oh, the call cut. I stared at my phone, heartbeat hammering so hard it hurt. Ryan, my best friend, Olivia. I called back, but the number was dead. I tried again. Nothing. The walls seemed to close in. My breathing came fast. Ryan isn't the dad, it couldn't be. No, he wouldn't. Not Ryan. I grabbed my jacket and keys and drove, barely seeing the road. My hands shook on the wheel. By the time I reached his apartment, my pulse felt like a drum in my ears. He opened the door, smiling like nothing was wrong. Ethan, what's up, man? You look. I shoved him back inside. What the hell did you do? His face changed instantly. Whoa, what's this? Don't act stupid. I just got a call. From who? Liam, he froze. What did he say? You tell me. Ryan ran a hand through his hair. He's drunk half the time. Probably talking nonsense, then deny it. Look me in the eye and tell me it's nonsense. He didn't. I took a step closer. Ryan, he swallowed. Ethan, calm down. Calm down? My voice cracked. He said you're the father of Olivia's baby. Tell me he's lying. He looked away. It's not like that. I grabbed his collar. Then what's it like? He pushed my hands off. We were drunk. It happened once. It didn't mean anything. The words hit harder than any punch. I staggered back laughing, but it came out as a choke. Didn't mean anything? You slept with my fiancée, he rubbed his face. It was a mistake, Ethan, I swear. How long? It was just once. When? He hesitated, then whispered, a few months ago. I felt the room spin. So while we were planning the wedding, while she wore my ring, he said nothing. I swung before I even thought about it. My fist connected with his jaw. The sound was sickening. He stumbled, holding his face. Ethan, don't say my name, I hissed. You lost that right. He leaned against the counter, breathing hard. I didn't mean for it to happen. She came to me crying, you'd been fighting. Stop talking. Ethan, listen, do you have any idea what you've done? You destroyed everything. His voice broke. I'm sorry, man. I didn't want you to find out like this. I laughed bitterly. You didn't want me to find out at all. He didn't argue. You were my brother, I said quietly. I trusted you with everything. He looked away. I know. No, you don't. You don't know what it feels like to lose both of them in one night. He reached out, but I stepped back. Don't touch me. I'll tell her to talk to you, he muttered. I don't want to hear her lies. He flinched. She's not a bad person. Then what is she, Ryan? He stayed silent. I took a deep breath. You and she deserve each other. I hope you're proud, he whispered. I'm not. I turned and walked out before I did something worse. The cold air hit me like a slap. I barely made it to my car. My hands trembled on the steering wheel, blood still drying on my knuckles. The drive home was a blur of lights and anger. When I walked inside, the apartment felt different. Smaller, emptier, poisoned. I ripped the photos off the walls. The smiling faces, the beach trip, the engagement dinner, all lies. I threw them into the sink, turned on the tap, and watched the water smear the ink until our faces disappeared. Just once, I whispered, mocking his voice. Didn't mean anything. I punched the counter. The pain shot through my hand, but it didn't compare to the one in my chest. I slid to the floor, the shredded photo clinging to my fingers. She said she loved me, I muttered. She said forever. The silence answered back. I laughed until it turned into sobs. My throat burned. My vision blurred. I couldn't tell if it was rage or heartbreak anymore. Probably both. The ring still sat on the table, catching the light like it didn't know what it represented. I picked it up, stared at it one last time, and whispered, "Lies look beautiful in gold." Then I threw it into the sink with the rest of the wreckage and watched it sink beneath the ink and water. Just another memory drowning, where love used to live. The rain hadn't stopped all night. It came down in sheets, hitting my windshield like it wanted to drown me before I got there. I didn't care. I just drove. When I reached her apartment, I didn't even bother with an umbrella. I pounded on her door until she opened it. "Ethan," she gasped. "You're soaked! Who's the father?" Her mouth opened, then closed again. "What?" "You heard me." My voice came out rough. "Don't play dumb." "Ethan, please, you shouldn't be here." "Answer me, Olivia." She stepped back. "This isn't the time." There's never a good time to find out the woman you love has been lying. Her hands trembled. "Who told you?" I laughed bitterly. "So it's true." She froze. "Liam called," I said. "He was drunk. Said something about Ryan being the dad." I didn't want to believe him. I wanted to think he was lying. "But you—" She shook her head. "It's not what you think. It never is, right? Just like the test. Just like everything else." Tears filled her eyes. "Ethan, please let me explain." "Explain how you slept with my best friend?" She flinched like I'd hit her. "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it?" I shouted. "Tell me what it was!" Her voice cracked. "It just happened, okay? We were drunk. I didn't plan it. Drunk?" I took a step closer. "That's your excuse?" She covered her mouth, crying. "I didn't want to hurt you." "Then why hide it for months?" "I was scared." "Of what, losing me?" "You lost me the second you lied. I didn't mean for it to go this far." "Far?" I laughed, but it sounded like a broken sound. "You're carrying his child. How much farther could it go?" Her face twisted. "You don't understand. Then help me," I snapped. "Help me understand why the woman I planned to marry betrayed me with my best friend." She couldn't look at me. I was lonely. "You were always working. You barely talk to me anymore. That's your reason?" I whispered. "Because I worked hard to give us a future?" Her tears mixed with the rain dripping from my hair. "I made a mistake, Ethan." I stared at her, shaking. "You made a choice." She reached for me, but I stepped back. "Don't," I said. "Don't touch me." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. Who's the father?" Her lip quivered. "Please, don't make me say it." "Say it." Her silence stretched until it felt like the air would break. "Finally," she whispered. "It's not yours anyway." Everything stopped. The rain, the noise, even my breath. My knees buckled. I grabbed the door frame to keep from collapsing. She covered her mouth, sobbing. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this." I stared at her, words gone. My throat burned, but nothing came out. She tried to speak again. "I thought it was yours at first." "I swear I did." "Stop. I wanted to tell you I did. But when I found out—" "Stop talking," I said quietly. "Ethan, please, I didn't want to lose you." "You already did." She cried harder. "I love you." "No," I said. "You loved the idea of me. You loved the safety, the comfort. But not me. That's not true. Then why him?" She shook her head helplessly. "It just happened." I laughed again, hollow. "People don't just happen. Choices happen. Lies happen. Cowardice happens," she whispered. I was wrong. "Yeah," I said. "You were." I turned toward the hallway. She reached out, grabbing my sleeve. "Please don't leave like this." I pulled free. There's no other way to leave. Where are you going? Anywhere you're not. She collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it, please. Her voice chased me down the hall, but I didn't look back. I couldn't. Outside, the rain hit harder. I stood by my car, shaking, staring at the sky like it might have answers. There were none. When I got home, I sat in the dark for hours. The ring was still on the table where I'd left it before the drive. I picked it up, turned it over in my hand. The same ring that once meant forever now looked like a curse. I grabbed my phone, found her number, and hovered over it. One message from her blinked on the screen. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me, I deleted it. Then I deleted her number. Every picture, every memory, gone. The apartment felt heavier without her, but quieter too. A silence so deep it pressed against my ears. I dropped onto the couch, soaked and shaking, and whispered to no one. You killed us. The rain kept falling, steady and endless, washing away everything that used to matter, and somewhere inside that storm, I stopped feeling anything at all. The weeks after that night were a blur. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I just existed. Her mug still sat on the counter, lipstick mark fading. Her shampoo still lingered in the bathroom air. Every scent felt like a ghost. I finally threw it all away. The mug, the pillow, the framed photo. The trash bag clattered against the floor, but it didn't sound loud enough to drown the ache. Mark stopped by one night, looking at the mess. You've got to get out, Ethan. You're starting to look like a ghost yourself. I'm fine, I muttered. You're not. You haven't been fine since she left. I stared at the empty space on the couch. I just need time, he sighed. You've had time. What you need is air. Come with me tonight. Where? Bar on 7th. I'm not asking. I didn't want to go, but sitting alone felt worse. The bar lights stung my eyes. People laughed, music thumped, life kept moving like it hadn't stopped for me. Mark ordered 2 beers. You'll thank me later, he said. I nodded absently. My stomach twisted just smelling the alcohol. That's when I heard a voice beside me. Didn't expect to see you here. I turned. Sophie, my coworker from the firm. She looked surprised but kind, like she knew too much without me saying a word. Sophie, I said, forcing a smile. Small world, she tilted her head. You okay? I almost laughed. Do I look okay? She shrugged softly. You look like someone trying too hard to pretend. Mark raised an eyebrow.
You two know each other?
We work together, she said. Or used to before he started disappearing. I looked away. I've been dealing with things. Sophie's voice stayed gentle. Everyone at work noticed. No one said anything, but we were worried. Mark leaned back. He's been through hell. She looked at me. I figured. I took a sip of beer, bitter and burning. You heard the rumors, didn't you? I heard something happened, she said carefully, but I didn't ask. It's not my place. I stared at the glass. She cheated. With my best friend. Sophie didn't flinch or pity me. She just said quietly, That's cruel. I nodded. Yeah, it is. We sat in silence for a moment, the noise around us fading. Then she said, You don't heal by pretending nothing happened, you know. I looked up. What's that supposed to mean? You can't erase it by throwing things away or staying drunk on pain. You have to face it. Her tone wasn't judging, just honest. It stung anyway. You make it sound simple. It's not, she said. But it's possible. Mark returned from the bar with another round. You lecturing my brother already? She smiled. He needed it. I managed a weak grin. You sound like my therapist. Maybe you should actually see one, she said, sipping her drink. I shook my head. No therapist can fix betrayal. Maybe not, she said softly. But they can help you remember you're still alive. Her words hit deeper than I wanted to admit. When we left, Mark clapped my back. See? You survived being out. Barely, I muttered. Sophie smiled faintly. You should come back to work next week. You're good at what you do. I don't know if I can face everyone. You don't have to. Just show up. That's enough for now. Her calmness lingered after she walked away. That night, for the first time in weeks, I slept without waking up screaming. By Monday, I forced myself back into the office. People stared, whispered, smiled politely. Sophie met my eyes from across the hall and gave a small nod. Somehow, that made it bearable. Work kept me breathing. I buried myself in blueprints, deadlines, numbers, anything that didn't talk back. A few days later, Olivia's name lit up my phone. I froze. Her first message, "Please talk to me." I deleted it. Then another, "I'm sorry, Ethan. I made a mistake." I turned the phone face down. Mark called later. "She texted you again, didn't she?" "Yeah. You answer?" "No. Good, don't." He hesitated. "You hear about Ryan?" I frowned. "What about him?" "He got fired." I sat up. "Fired?" "Apparently his boss found out about the affair. Something about ethics, a client's daughter." I let out a bitter laugh. "Karma's faster than I thought," Mark chuckled. "Guess so. Doesn't make it hurt less, though." "No," he said quietly. "But it helps." After we hung up, I stared at the dark screen, feeling something I hadn't felt in weeks. Calm. I wasn't happy. But I wasn't falling apart either. At work the next day, Sophie stopped by my desk. "You look different," she said. "Is that good or bad?" "Good," she said, smiling. "You're breathing again." I exhaled slowly. "Feel strange?" "You'll get used to it." Her words were simple, but they carried more warmth than anything I'd heard in months. When she left, I stared at my reflection in the computer screen. Tired eyes, messy hair, but still here. Still breathing. The ashes of what I'd lost were still inside me, but maybe, just maybe, something new was beginning to grow. It had been 6 months since I last heard her voice. 6 months since I stopped waiting for closure that would never come. I'd started to feel human again. Work filled my days, and Sophie's quiet company made the nights bearable. I thought the past had finally stopped knocking until it did. "Ethan?" I looked up from my desk. The voice was soft, uncertain, but familiar enough to twist something in my chest. Olivia stood in the doorway. Her hair was dull, her skin pale. She looked smaller somehow, like life had drained out of her. "What are you doing here?" I asked, my voice colder than I intended. She took a hesitant step forward. "Please, I just need a minute. I don't think that's a good idea." "Please," she repeated, eyes glistening. "Just 1 minute." I sighed, leaning back in my chair. "Fine. Say what you came to say." She stared at the floor. "I don't even know where to start." "Try the truth. You owe me that much." Her lips trembled. "I deserve that." She took a deep breath. "Ryan's gone." I blinked. "Gone?" "He left," she said softly. "After the baby was born, something inside me went still." "He what?" She nodded weakly. "He said he wasn't ready. That it was too much responsibility. He hasn't called since." I didn't respond. I just watched her. The woman who'd once shattered me now looking like the broken pieces herself. "I thought he loved me," she whispered. "I gave up everything for him." A bitter laugh escaped before I could stop it. "Sounds familiar." She flinched. "I know I hurt you." "Hurt?" I repeated. "You destroyed me, Olivia." Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't mean to." "Don't," I said quietly. "You don't get to use that line anymore." "I just wanted you to know," she continued, voice cracking. "I'm sorry. For everything. For lying, for cheating, for being a coward. I think about it every day." I leaned forward, elbows on my desk. "And what exactly do you expect me to do with that?" "Nothing," she said quickly. "I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know I regret it." I studied her face. The confident woman I'd once loved was gone. All that was left was guilt and exhaustion. "You look tired," I said flatly. She gave a sad laugh. "Motherhood does that to you." Something twisted in my chest again. Pity, maybe. But it faded fast. "Is the baby healthy?" I asked. "She's beautiful," she whispered. "Looks like him, though." "Of course she did." I nodded slowly. "That's good." Olivia looked up, searching my face. "You're angry." "I was," I said. "For a long time." "And now?" "Now I'm just done." She swallowed hard. "You really don't hate me anymore?" "I don't think I have the energy to," I said. "Hate keeps you tied to someone." "I don't want that anymore." Her voice broke. "You loved me once." "I did," I admitted. "More than I should have." She stepped closer. "Can we at least talk? Maybe start over." "No." The word hit the air like a hammer. Her eyes widened. "Why not?" "Because there's nothing left to start." Tears ran down her cheeks. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I thought maybe—" "Olivia," I said softly, cutting her off. You made your choice, and I made mine. What choice? To walk away? She wiped her tears with the back of her hand. You really mean that? I do. For a moment, the only sound was the ticking of the office clock. She took a shaky breath. I just wanted you to know Ryan's not happy either. He's miserable. I gave a faint smile. Karma doesn't need my help. She looked down. I wish I'd never done it. Wishing doesn't undo anything, I said quietly. I know, she whispered. I see your face in my head every night. The look you gave me when you left. I said nothing. She finally straightened, voice trembling. I'll go. I just needed to see you once more. To tell you I'm sorry, I nodded. You said it. She turned toward the door, hesitating. Do you ever think about what we could have been? I hesitated too. Then I said, no, I think about who I am now. Her shoulders dropped. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Olivia. The door clicked shut behind her, and the silence that followed felt different this time. Lighter. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. My hands were steady. My heart didn't race. For the first time, the past didn't choke me. That night, as I sat on my couch, my phone buzzed. A message from Sophie. You did the right thing. I smiled faintly. How do you know what happened? Her reply came fast. I just do. You look free lately. I stared at the message for a long time, feeling something settle in me. Not joy, not pain, just peace. I typed back. Maybe I finally am. Then I turned off the lights, set my phone down, and let the quiet fill the room. Not empty, but clean. For the first time in forever, silence didn't sound like loss. It sounded like closure. A year later, I drove back to the beach, the same one where I'd planned to propose. The same one where I once thought my life would begin. The waves sounded softer now. Maybe they'd always been this way, and I'd just been too broken to notice. I kicked off my shoes and walked along the shore, letting the water brush my ankles. The wind carried salt, memory, and something that almost felt like peace. A voice called from behind me. You always disappear to the ocean when you're thinking too much. I turned. Sophie stood there, hair flying in the wind, hands stuffed into her jacket pockets. I smiled faintly. You followed me. Someone has to make sure you don't drown in your thoughts, she said, walking closer. I'm fine. You always say that, she teased. But you used to mean it less, I chuckled. Fair point. She looked out at the water beside me. So why here? I hesitated. It used to be the place I wanted to start forever. Now it's just the place I learned it's okay to end something. Sophie nodded, quiet for a moment. Closure looks good on you. Does it? She smiled. You're breathing again, I laughed softly. I didn't realize I'd stopped. I did, she said. Back then you were surviving, not living. Yeah, I murmured. Back then everything hurt. Still does? Sometimes, I admitted. But not in the same way. The pain's different now, dull, manageable. Like an old scar that doesn't bleed anymore. She studied my face. You don't hate her, do you? I shook my head. No, I used to think revenge would fix me. That seeing her miserable would make it easier. But it didn't. What did? Letting go, I said simply. I realized revenge isn't about hurting someone else. It's about reclaiming what they took. Sophie tilted her head. And what did she take? Myself, I said. I gave everything to someone who saw me as an option. When she left, I thought I had nothing left to give. But now, I looked at the sky streaked in gold and pink. Now I know I was always enough, even without her. She smiled gently. That's a good thing to learn. Yeah, took me a while. We stood there for a while, listening to the waves crash and retreat, like they were breathing too. After a long silence, I said, you know, I used to come here in my head. Every time I wanted to stop feeling, I'd imagine the sea swallowing everything. The anger, the regret, the what-ifs. Did it work? No, I said, smiling faintly. But now it does. Now I can stand here and not think about her at all. That's progress. Feels strange. Strange is good, she said. Strange means new. I looked at her then. The way the light hit her eyes, soft and warm. You stayed, I said quietly. I wanted to, she replied. You didn't need saving. You just needed someone who didn't run when you broke. Her words settled deep, gentle but heavy. Thank you, I said. She shook her head. You did the hard part. We walked along the waterline, waves chasing our footsteps. After a while, I said, "You know what's funny? I thought losing her was the end of me, but maybe it was the beginning." Sophie smiled. "Maybe endings and beginnings aren't that different." "Maybe not," I agreed. The sky deepened to orange, then crimson. The sun sank lower, painting the ocean like fire. Sophie slipped her hand into mine. It wasn't dramatic, just natural, quiet, right? I looked at her, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel broken or angry or lost. I just felt present. "I can breathe again," I said softly. "You never stopped," she whispered. "You just forgot how." We stood there until the last line of sunlight disappeared, the tide creeping closer to our feet. The ocean no longer felt like a place of endings. It felt like forgiveness. As we turned to leave, I looked back one last time. Not for closure, not for pain, but for gratitude. Olivia and Ryan had become lessons. Sophie had become peace, and I had become myself again. The wind brushed against my face as if the world was exhaling with me. I smiled and whispered, "Finally." And for the first time in a year, I truly breathed.